pause, put the controller down. It's time to talk about the gaming industry. My name is TJ Leo.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is episode 47 of Press Pause, a gaming podcast. How are you, my friend?
Pretty good. I've been very productive with games this month.
Good.
So we'll talk about that shortly.
We will.
But
we will indeed.
I did go to the dentist today.
Oh.
And it feels like my teeth were cleaned with that concentrated water jet that Metal Gear Ray has. Because that's basically what they use to clean my teeth.
That's fun. That's fun. I mean, you must feel clean.
Yeah, I also feel a little sore.
Yeah, I would bet. Yeah, dentist is not a fun experience, I shall say. Yeah, I did yard work today. So I've been digging up dead grass, filling potter plants, that kind of spiel, putting down grass seed, raking the dirt, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it was a nice day out, so at least you had that.
Yes, it was very nice. Dunked my head in the hot tub a few times to cool off, which is counterproductive at first, but then once the cool air hits you, yeah, it works real well. Had to do it a couple times, but yeah, pretty nice day out. Not now. Now we have a storm brewing, so hopefully it stays away for the duration of the show. All right, let's get into the rigmarole. There we go. Can tell this is going to be a show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We are on YouTube Music. We are no longer on Spotify. As a reminder, if you want the audio-only edition of the show, you can check out YouTube Music. You can get the video edition there as well. You can subscribe to the show podcast style on YouTube Music. So go check that out. If there is a demand for the Spotify edition to come back, I'll bring it back. But thus far, no one's said anything. So I'm not going to devote time to that when there's so much already to do. Don't forget to join the Co-op Club Discord community server, where several of us are there and several fans are there to chat it up about games, professional wrestling, and more. And today's a big show. Andrew, do you know why today's a big show?
Because we got... I forget what you told me earlier.
It's okay. It's because it's the beginning of the month. It's not technically, as of this recording, June.
Yes, but it will be by the time it goes up.
Yeah, but it will be by the time this goes up. Well, it maybe. It depends on how things go. But yeah, I by the time next episode comes up, a week has gone by in June, so it's like we'll just do the beginning episode today, which means we got a whole bunch of extra stuff to get through, which I always love to do. So makes the show super interesting. But before we get to that, Andrew, what are you playing? I
have been playing Control, which I never played before. It was one of the many titles on the list, and I finally got around to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started it. I don't remember exactly what day I started it. Maybe last Saturday, whatever. But I finished it this morning.
Oh wow!
And I'm a little mixed on it. Generally, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game that doesn't really have any big problems, but it's got a bunch of little ones that really kind of irritated me.
Agreed.
So I alluded to this on BlueSky earlier, but the B button in this game is the dash button. It's also the cancel button, as it is in basically every video game ever. Since they started putting B buttons on controllers. And that's fine, except for the fact that the map that you bring up is a full screen image, but it's not a menu. It doesn't pause the game, but it looks like a menu. So I hit the B button to get rid of the map, and I end up dashing off into a bottomless pit. This has happened multiple times.
Yeah.
This was actually the number one cause of my death until about halfway through the game.
Yeah,
So
big
don't
design
like
flaw.
that. I really
Yeah.
don't like that. I like it's one of those things where I like that the dash breaks through the physics objects, and there's a lot of physics objects, like really destructible ones in this game, which I was really impressed by. Like stacks of
Oh yeah.
paper explode
Yeah.
into shreds and loose pieces of paper. Um, wooden furniture breaks away like wood does, and
Yep.
glass shatters.
Lots of
Like,
detail.
yeah, it looks
The
great.
raw or the cement when you pick up the
Yeah,
cement.
yeah, because you can telekinetically just rip chunks out of the wall and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great, and being able to dash through it is great because it means you have a way to move fast during combat. Um, but that also means you can dash through the guardrails because those are breakable. That seems like a thing they should have thought of. You know, there was actually one checkpoint where I died and I reloaded, and I had set the controller down for a moment, and I picked it up and I hit the B button, and because the checkpoint is close to a pit and you start facing the pit, dashed right into it. Fucking bullshit. Um, the game has a little bit of a problem with um, telegraphing when you're ready to do a side mission. In fact, it was actually at that exact point where I dashed off from a checkpoint. There's an object that you have to, because it's cursed. It's very SCP wiki kind of stuff. Cursed objects that have like psychic powers and paranormal abilities and stuff like that. I had to fight one that was on the other side of this giant pit, and I was like, okay, well, the game, like the dialogue, the character dialogue, very specifically says you need to come back here and fix this as soon as possible. And when I took
Mhm.
care of the mission that led up to it, it said I should like the character. She says I should go back and take care of that. So I go back to take care of it, and I can't get across the pit. And I tried to see if there was like platforms on the wall or something, and until I just gave up and said, "Is there an ability that I need?" And I looked it up, and yeah. So despite the fact that the game was very adamant that I go
Mhm.
back and do it right now, at that point in the game, I did not yet have the ability to cross that giant pit.
Mhm.
So that was kind of a bummer. There's also there's just weird balancing to the game,
Mhm.
where it starts out really easy and then it suddenly takes a massive leap
Yeah.
in its difficulty curve,
Yeah.
and suddenly they start throwing like tons and tons of enemies at you, really powerful enemies, who
Mhm.
have abilities like yours, which is fine, but they have higher level versions of those abilities than you do when you first encounter them, and they're throwing them at you in like hordes and hordes of enemies, and the
Yeah.
game suddenly gets really hard, and then you power up your abilities and it goes back to being not all that difficult. So I really hate it when games have a massive difficulty spike in the middle.
Yep. Been there.
um, I don't mind if it gets that hard towards the end because that's where I expected to get that hard, right? But doing it in the middle is like it not only is it bad pacing, it's also it makes the end of the game feel really weak, because then you get to the end of the game and you're like, well, this isn't challenging at all. You
Right.
know, you gotta ramp it up steadily, which I understand is a little bit difficult for a game like this because it's. I mean, I wouldn't call it an open world game because you're inside a building, but
Right.
you got pretty much the run of the place,
Yeah.
barring like some key cards that you need to access some areas. Um, that really annoyed me. Um, there's also the
What?
fact that I just don't find the weaponry in the game to be all that useful. Like I never found anything that was more useful than just the basic pistol.
I agree.
Um, the rocket launcher was kind of handy sometimes for taking out groups of low tier enemies that were grouped together, But other than that, like I never ever found a good use for the shotgun because the spread is so wide that if you're close enough to hit enemies with it, you're too close. Because this game really does not want you to get close. You have a melee attack, but it's not very good.
No, it
You kind of do a like Jedi push in the
yeah.
general direction of the enemy, but it's got a narrower area of effect than it looks like.
Hmm.
I've missed enemies that I felt like I really should have hit, so I don't rely on the melee too much, except when I absolutely need to.
Yep.
Um, so the shotgun was a dud. The machine gun was a little bit useful, but not long after I got it, I started reaching areas that were much bigger, and I had to fight enemies over longer distances. And the spread on that machine gun means that it's like its effective range is better than the shotguns, but it's not as good as the pistols because the pistol has a very tight grouping.
Right.
So the machine gun I stopped using within like 2 hours after getting it. The grenade launcher you get way late in the game, and
Very
it's
late.
basically just the rocket launcher, but doesn't go as far. So why would I want to put those explosions closer to me? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can remotely detonate them, but I feel like that the time that it takes to do that, you're better off just picking up physics objects with telekinesis and throwing them at enemies.
Yeah, it's not balanced very well in that
Yeah.
regard.
And then
No.
the sniper one is completely pointless. Enemies in the game are really mobile. There's
Yeah.
at no point is there an enemy that stays still or moves slow enough for that to be useful. It was completely pointless.
Agreed.
So I used the pistol, just the basic pistol, which gets more powerful because you upgrade them to different tiers, and you can add the weapon mods that boost their stats and stuff. But like, I mean, that just kind of drives home the point that the pistol is like the best weapon in
The
the
best
game
one.
because
It's the
it's the
most
most
balanced for
it's
sure.
the most accurate. It's got plenty of shots. You can get 16 shots out of that thing before it has to reload.
Yep.
And if you put in just basic damage mods, it makes it really powerful. So there's really not much reason to use anything else. And there's
No.
also not much reason to use the pistol once you've got telekinesis, which is like the first power you get, because launching stuff into enemies does a fuck ton of damage, which is good because enemies very soon start having massive pools of regenerating armor.
Yes.
Um,
You have to take them down by throwing stuff into them.
yeah, yeah. And it's also that's a pain because you don't start off with a lot of energy at first. You can upgrade your energy
Yeah.
capacity and your health capacity and the damage of your abilities and stuff, but at first it's awful. It's awful because you have to use it so much.
Yep.
You only get like 4 throws out of it before the energy bar drains until you start upgrading and get the like the bonuses that reduce the amount of energy it takes to use and all that stuff. But yeah, I barely ever used the shield. I just didn't see the
Same.
point in it because I felt like, well, the
Just
enemies,
stay mobile and you're
yeah,
fine.
just stay mobile, the enemies
Yeah.
attack so quickly, and the shield only guards you from the front. So like you're better off just using that energy to throw things at enemies.
Yep.
Um, I used the ground pound ability a few times. It was actually super powerful, but it drains all of your energy to use.
And it's very like situational.
Yeah.
You
And
can't
the
just
thing of
spam that.
yeah, the thing about the energy in this game is that you can't use energy as soon as it starts to come back. It has to full recover before you can
Yeah.
start using again. So if you drain the bar all the way, you're out of luck for a few seconds, and that
Yeah, you kind of want to time it so that you
yeah,
use
you
it
want to
just to this,
just to the
just leave a
last
little bit.
pixel, but not
Yeah.
not over that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I kind of like because it creates like a flow and like a strategy and
I
like
mean,
a
I would
yeah.
like that if it wasn't for the fact that the throw is so useful and so necessary
Hmm.
all the time.
Maybe they did it for that very reason, so you would try to use the other weapons.
Yeah, but the weapons suck.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's not good in that regard. I
It's not super well balanced.
what do you think about the story? That's and the environment.
The environment's super cool. When I got to that shifting maze, where you get the janitor's his Walkman, and you have the heavy metal music that lets you go through that dimensional maze. That was really cool. That was probably the highlight of the game. I was really impressed with the way they shifted around the level design there. Story is better than average. I really like Jesse's characterization. Um, it helps that they give you a look into her internal monologue, which I also thought was interesting because at first I thought that she was like in her head talking to her brother,
Yeah,
and then
some sort of entity.
yeah, then she reveals to this other character that she's talking to this like psychic entity that's with her, and as soon as she does that, I realized, oh no, who she's actually talking to is the player. The
Yeah.
player is the psychic entity because
Mhm.
it's guiding her, through the game, which is what you're doing as the player.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
A
psychic entity,
Bioshock moment.
yeah, the psychic entity Polaris is a stand-in for the player,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of a neat narrative trick to do because there are
Mhm.
games where the character like talks to the player and it comes off as like really forced, like Omicron, where it opens with the character going, "Listen, I need you to help me through your computer." It's like, okay, here we go. But the way they handled that narratively, I thought was really good. Um, I felt like the story ended kind of abruptly. Um,
Yeah.
you
There's a lot of DLC or big DLC
Yeah,
for it, if I remember
there is
correctly.
DLC, but I mean,
I know I hate that when they
it.
lock stuff
Well,
behind.
I figured out why it's like that. It's because this is supposed to be leading into Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
The story of Control doesn't end. It's just continued in Alan Wake 2
Yeah.
and in the upcoming Control 2.
Yes.
So there's that. I felt like I was at the 2/3 mark, and then it was like boom, 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 I'm done. And I was like, oh, that was very sudden. Didn't really
Mhm.
get any resolution on the brother thing. There was a cop out resolution. Didn't really get any resolution on the big interdimensional maggot thing that looks like the fucking, what do they call them in Half-Life 2? The big slug things that kill Eli Vance. Spoilers for
Oh,
like a
oh, like
fifth.
the thing with the tongue that comes out and sucks
Yeah,
your
yeah,
brain out.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't remember,
It
but
looks
I
a
know what you
lot like one
mean.
of those.
Yeah.
The Marshall disappeared at some point. I've read because like this game's been out for like 6 years, so there's no way I could avoid all spoilers about it. I did manage to avoid most of them. But then again, I suppose the way the story ends, there's not really a lot to spoil. The
No.
situation doesn't actually change that much.
No.
Um, I guess she's in the DLC. That okay, but it was just like this seemed like a really critical character to just have vanish with no explanation until you pay for the explanation.
To be
Um,
fair, Alan Wake does the same thing at the end of the first game, Alan Wake game too.
yeah,
He just, you don't know what
yeah.
happened to him until
Well,
Alan Wake 2,
well,
which took a long time.
until Alan Wake's American Nightmare, or technically this game, because the other DLC is Alan Wake related and gives you a whole bunch of backstory on all of that, which is fine, I guess. But the other thing, because I didn't realize that this was supposed to be post game DLC, I tried going into that area and everything just kicked my ass because I
Mm.
wasn't at post game levels of strength. Um, but I mean, overall, I think it has a better than average video game story. That may not be saying a lot because video game stories are usually just an excuse to put the player into a situation for cool gameplay, which
Yep.
I guess is all they need to be. But if they can be more, I appreciate that. And Remedy is usually pretty good about that stuff. There is one thing I do want to say about this game. The character models are kind of weird looking.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody has a differently sized head, but nobody's is the right size. Like
Yeah.
Jesse
I
and
agree.
Dylan have like really tall heads, like really bizarrely tall heads. And it's not as obvious on Jesse because she's got the hair, but
The
because
hair.
Dylan is bald, it's super obvious. His head is tall as fuck.
Yeah, it's got an
Um,
odd art style for the
yeah, and
characters.
then the woman that you talk to who like orients you, Emily, her head's really tiny. Um,
Yeah.
and then Langdon, the artifact keeper, his head's about the right size, but it's kind of wide.
Janitor's got a weird head too.
Well, yeah, but the janitor, like the thing about the janitor is he was one of the most normal looking characters in the game. Him and the director. I mean, the director you almost always see in live action footage, so that doesn't really count because that's just a real person. Um, But I just found it really weird. The facial animation is really good. There were a few moments where it was like, yeah, this looks like video game facial animation. Then there were a few where it was like, oh, that looked like a real person's face moving. Like they really captured all the subtleties of the
Mm.
face movements. I was like, that was really good. It didn't happen all the time, but it happened sometimes, which is more than it usually happens in most games because like facial animation is tough. I get it. Um, but yeah, other than that, like visually, really, really good looking, very sterile kind of environment, but that's kind of by design. Um, the ray tracing effects are phenomenal.
Yeah, it's
The
very pretty.
reflections and stuff, like this game uses ray tracing very heavily for its reflections, and it looks great. Like you can see reflections in reflections. It looks awesome. It's
Yeah.
super detailed and it's helpful because you can see enemies coming up behind you sometimes. It doesn't happen too often, but it
But
happened
when it
more than
happens, it's cool. It's
once.
like, oh shit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I was really impressed with that. I was also really impressed with the projectors in the game. There's like film projectors because all
Hmm.
the tech in there is of a certain vintage or earlier. Because I guess the building doesn't like modern tech, which is why all the computers are like Commodore 64s.
Yeah.
Um, but the film projectors, the projection there is real, so if you stand in front of it you
Yep.
see part of the image on her, and if you knock it over you see it like
Hmm.
projected across the floor and onto the
It's
wall.
dynamically
Yeah,
pushing that
yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah, I thought that
it's
was
cool.
really cool. I've seen that in games before, but I always appreciate it when it's done because it's usually not done.
They use that
um
tech in Alan Wake 2 as
oh,
well.
I'm sure they do.
Looks really
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It just visually, like, yeah, really, it accomplishes the look it's going for, which is sterile but intentionally so, and well done. um I did feel like the color palette was a little bit muted, but I also noticed that this game has HDR support, and I kind of get the feeling that they might have tuned
Mm.
the visuals, like the color grading, for HDR, and those of us without HDR monitors, we're just kind of left with a sort of a washed out image. I know you didn't watch Game of Thrones, but there were episodes in like the last season of Game of Thrones that were like that looked really kind of grayish and muted, and it's because HBO was broadcasting them in HDR, and so if you didn't have an HDR TV, you got it without the HDR information, and it looked kind of flat.
Mm.
um, that's the consequence of having to choose which one you want to broadcast. So I suspect it may have been that their focus was on HDR, which I get. Most people have screens that are at least HDR capable, if not the best for it.
Yeah.
I'm an outlier because I have a very old monitor, but I use it
My
because it
monitor
still
doesn't have
works.
it either. My TVs do, but not my
Really,
monitor.
your monitor doesn't? That ultra wide doesn't?
No, it's a
Shocking.
fairly lower end
Mm.
ultra wide. It's still you know phenomenally
Oh yeah, yeah.
visually beautiful.
It's a great looking
Um,
monitor.
I've so I obviously I'm used to HDR gaming because I've got
Yeah.
all my consoles support it and my TV supports it. And now that I've been on PC, I haven't really noticed a difference, and I think that's because the monitor's just so good visually already
Hmm.
without the HDR. And but yeah, HDR does make a pretty huge difference. I've seen side by sides, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah,
there's
suddenly
color.
I can see detail in the dark areas. It's
Yeah,
not just a
yeah,
complete black blob. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a thing. Why is it so damn hard to find a monitor that does all the stuff that a TV does? I just want see. Here's what I want in a
It's
monitor.
not hard. You just have to pay a lot more
Well, yeah,
for
but
some
why?
stupid reason.
Why do
I
you
know
have to
it's
pay
smaller. It should be
more?
cheaper.
I want
Yeah,
HDR. I want 120 FPS. I want 4K. I can get that in any number of TVs for like
I wouldn't even need 4K because I mean, like, you're this close to the monitor. Like,
yeah, that's true.
it's not necessary. 1080p is fine.
But I'd like to watch Ultra HD Blu-rays. You know,
Do you use to do that on your TV?
I don't have a 4K TV.
Uh,
My TV is also old.
oh,
I got my TV
well,
like a decade ago.
damn.
But anyway, it's like, why do I have to pay like $1,600 for that in a computer monitor, but I get a TV that also has speakers built in and more
Yeah.
and more video signal inputs, and that costs $1,000.
Yeah,
I
I know.
don't want to use a TV as my monitor before anyone suggests that, because there's no TV that'll fit on my desk. I just need like a 32-inch screen, sits on my desk, fits just nicely. All the TVs out there are like 60 inches now. That's not going to fit on my desk.
Oh, that's not true. You can go to
Uh,
Best Buy and get like 40.
yeah. My TV is
I
40
don't know how
inches,
good they are,
and
but
it wouldn't fit on my desk.
yeah.
But anyway, back to Control. Yeah, overall, I had a pretty good experience with it. It could have been a great experience if they just tuned it a little
Balance
bit
the
better.
gameplay.
Yeah, and that's kind
That's
of
one of my
disappointing.
that's one of my biggest pet peeves in games is like when they give you tools that they don't give you a reason to use. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like that's such a big pet peeve of mine where I'm like, I went through this whole game and I didn't use 50% of the arsenal they gave me because why would I use those when I
yeah,
have this one that's really good? It just doesn't make any sense. I
yeah,
don't know why they don't think about those things. It's really weird.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's a
I
good game
guess
though.
I guess maybe they'd worry that people would complain, "Oh, there's not enough weapons." But it's like, well, you see,
Yeah.
I guess I'd rather have more weapons than not enough. But like,
But if they're not useful, then it's
if
like,
they're not useful, then yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think this game might be one of the most overrated games of all time. This game got like Game of the Year
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
all over the place, and I was like, why?
Yeah,
It's good, but it's not like
it's good. It's not
yeah,
great.
it's not a masterpiece.
It's very close to being a great game.
Yeah,
Aside from the sort of abrupt ending, it's got a decent length. It took me about 20 hours to get through. I'd call that a decent length for a story heavy game. Because you don't want to be involved in the story forever and ever and ever, because then it just kind of
the dialogue is really bad in some cases.
Yeah.
Like, why are the people acting like so nonchalantly about certain things? Like, especially that woman you talk to. I think it's Emily, the one that's always at the desk.
Yeah.
Or the big conference room desk. Like she talks to you about these things, and Jesse just
comments on it. She's like, wow, she's very calm about this.
Yeah, like it's just like, but they never explain why these people are like this, and it's just
I think it's the implication
they're just used
that I got.
To it, I guess.
Well, yeah, part of it is that they work at it's like if the X-Files was an entire government bureau. They deal with weird shit all the time, so it's like.
But here's the difference though, is that I've played Alan Wake 2, so I know where a lot of this story goes, and the people in that game are far from nonchalant about it. They're very animated and emotional, and they suck me into that story a lot more than Control did. Control I found very bland from a dialogue and character standpoint compared to Alan Wake 2 especially. I don't know. I for whatever reason this one just didn't click with me. I give it a 7. But I just
I think
it's overrated. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think people, like, having now played it, I definitely think people heaped a little too much praise on it. It's not bad. It's just there's a lot of potential left on the table, and that's disappointing.
Yeah, and we'll see if they capitalize on that with Control 2.
Yeah, well, they better.
They certainly capitalized on Alan Wake's potential with Alan Wake 2.
That's good to know.
The only thing that I don't like about the Remedyverse, as they're calling it at this point, is that there never seems to be an ending.
Yeah.
All these games seem to just lead into the next one, so it's almost like a soap opera that doesn't have an ending. It's just like the next chapter of what's going on. So it's like
it ends when it stops making the money.
Yeah, it's like, are you gonna do an ending at some point, or like, but it was worth playing.
It was definitely worth playing, and I would strongly recommend it if it's on sale.
I would strongly recommend that you play Alan Wake 2 sooner rather than later, because you will forget everything.
Yeah.
It's such a complicated story that it's like, even like I said, when I was talking about it and reviewing it, by the end of it, I was like, wow, what a mind fuck of a game. Like, there's just so much shit to remember. And like, I bet you 90, but maybe not 90%, but I bet you like a good portion of it went over my head, and I just didn't even realize half of the things. It's an intelligent person's game from a storytelling standpoint, because you really got to be paying attention.
Yeah.
Some things that I'm not going to spoil anything, but some things that you've said, I went, Oh yeah. Just from playing Alan Wake 2, I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
the Alan Wake DLC actually teases the involvement of an FBI agent named Alex Casey, which is a character from Alan Wake's books.
Alan,
I was
yeah,
like, oh yeah, they did name the agent Alex Casey. Oh yeah,
yeah,
story plot. Mm.
yeah. All right then. What do you give it? Are you agree with the 7
Yeah,
on our scale?
it's
Yeah,
it's like
7 is good.
yeah, 7 is good. It's so close to being great. I'd give it like, if I were to get more granular, I'd be like 7.8 because it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
take a tremendous amount of
Okay, Tommy
fixing.
Tellerico.
Yeah, it would take a tremendous amount of fixing to make it a lot better.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's been like 6 years since it came out,
yeah.
so
They're
they're
not doing
obviously done with
anything.
it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, let's get into a few reviews of my own. I don't have as much to say about these as you do, so they'll be a little bit less detailed. But
Sure.
I finished 2 games and I started a new one. So the first one is Tavern Manager Simulator.
Her face is horrifying.
Yeah, the game doesn't look like that at all. I actually have a screenshot here, so that's what the game actually looks
Okay,
like.
that's much better.
Yeah, so it's a first-person manager of a tavern.
Medieval Diner Dash.
So I don't know how this game got away with some of these things. So this game is very much implied that it takes place in World of Warcraft.
Oh.
like down to the design of the characters. You can kind of see similarities in these characters, but if you go look at the guards, they look straight ripped out of Stormwind in World of Warcraft. There's like paladins that look exactly like World of Warcraft. The art style is very reminiscent of WoW as
Giant
well.
armor and shoulder pads and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it very much feels like a hey, what if you were the tavern manager of that inn that's outside of Stormwind? I can't remember the name of it, Goldshire or something like that. So that's kind of what it feels like, but I play tons of not simulator games typically, but like management sims, where you're like managing a city or you're managing a tavern, usually from an overhead perspective. This one was from a first person perspective, so I was like, I played Tavern Master, I think it was called, and that was from an overhead perspective, so more of a strategy management sim.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's in first person, where you're actually serving tables, you're putting furniture down, you're organizing the place, you're upgrading the place. There's missions that you have to do. Missions is a strong word. Let's just say to-do lists that it gives you to level up and expand your tavern, and you get more and more people and more and more people, more and more people. So I beat this finally. It took a long time. I don't know how many hours, but it took too long.
How do you beat a tavern management game? Do you put all the other establishments out of business?
There is no other. That's the other thing, is that you're just in like this big empty field outside. Like I said, it's so much like WoW, like in WoW, like in World of Warcraft. There's this big ass city called Stormwind, and right outside of it is a tavern inn. I wish I could remember the damn name. Everyone knows. Everyone's screaming at the screen what the name of the tavern is, because it's like a popular spot for socializing. But there's like nothing out there. It's just forest. And if you go out and explore, there is things to find. There's like, you can find like secret treasures, and there's like a ghost character outside of a cavern. There's some like bones of a troll, like all these kind of like odes to World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
The problem with the game, as addicting as it was, so basically, you wake up and you do as much, you sell as much ale, wine, cheese, sausages, soup, steak, so on and so forth as you can, to make as much money as you can to expand the tavern and make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and make as much money as you can. And the name of the game is a little misleading. So it says Tavern Manager Simulator. Well, you're pretty much doing everything.
Yeah.
And a manager doesn't typically do everything. A manager typically like walks around, make sure their employees are doing their jobs correctly, talking with the customers, all that kind of thing, managing, not doing everything. And even by the end of the game, so at some point in the game, you can like hire fairies, essentially, to do tasks for you. So you can have them serve the customers while you're doing other things. You can have them cook while you're doing other things. You can have them doing dishes.
I think these
so
are called employees.
Forth. Yeah, basically. But they're fairies that you're putting to task. You do pay them to do it with like fairy dust or something. I don't know. It's something weird. And then you have to you have to make sure that your orders, your deliveries come in for foods, because you have to constantly restock, all that kind of stuff. So there's always something to do. The problem is the game doesn't evolve to the point where you are a tavern manager. You are pretty much like a worker there the whole freaking time. Like I thought by like halfway through the game, I'd have like the gameplay would shift from serving and cooking and washing the dishes and all that kind of stuff to managing the people or the fairies that you're having do everything for you. But that's not the case. You're always needed. The fairies cannot keep up with the demand the further you get in the game. So by the end of the game, you're still doing the same thing you did at the beginning of the game. So it gets very repetitive. I kept going because I'm addicted to these kind of like grow your city, grow your business, grow your, those kind of games.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking like, oh, there's going to be this evolution of the gameplay at some point, and it just never comes.
Yeah.
So and then the ending of
start to finish, it's just waiting tables.
Pretty much. Yeah, but they keep evolving that a little bit. So like you start off just serving peasants. These are the nobles that you see in the picture here. So they drink wine and eat cheese and sometimes soup, whereas the peasants basically drink ale and sausages and steak.
Fun fact: the ale in medieval times, not the establishment, the actual era, was safer to drink than the water.
Oh, that's scary.
Because
there's alcohol.
There's not a ton of alcohol in ale. It's actually because it was boiled as part of the preparation.
Oh,
and people didn't know about boiling water back then.
That's funny.
So you were actually better off drinking the ale.
Bummer. Yeah, eventually like the ale evolves to the point where you can make ice, because you discover this ice cave where you can bring water and it freezes.
You've discovered cold.
Yeah. So then you can bring the ice to the ale and freeze it or chill it. Same thing with the wine. You can chill the wine, all that kind of stuff. So it evolves and it gives you more to do, but it doesn't change enough to.
Yeah, it doesn't meaningfully evolve.
Yeah, it wears out its welcome. And then what was really a bummer is that the final task takes the longest out of all the tasks that you've done up until that point. So I'm like, oh, there must be something at the end here. And then it basically says, congratulations, you beat the game. Now you can do whatever you want. And I was like, okay, well, I'm done with that game.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want. Exit.
Exactly. Yeah. So was kind of disappointed. But obviously I had some fun. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what I would give it. It's probably a 5. It's average at best. I've played much better simulator type games, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Another game that I beat, I've kind of talked about previously. Is this game trying to kill me? I did beat it.
So did you get an answer to the question?
Yeah, the game's definitely trying to kill you.
Oh, well then.
Well, it's a little more sophisticated.
Spoilers.
Or more sophisticated. So, do I have a picture? No, I don't have a picture. Do I'll spoil it. No one's going to play this game. As it turns out, it doesn't specify that it's Cthulhu, but it's Cthulhu.
Yeah,
it's the big creature with the millions of eyes and the tentacles and
tentacle creature. Yeah.
But there's 3 endings, so if you're not paying attention, you could miss that real ending. So if you simply beat the game and get the treasure, you've won the game, and then you can just take the treasure and you win. Although then it kills you anyway, because you didn't kill the actual creature. But if you don't take the treasure and you look around, you'll find that there's like a secret entrance to a cave, which leads out of the cabin that you've been stuck in the whole game. And
the fucking Evil Dead cabin.
Yeah, basically, it's like it really is like an Evil Dead cabin. Yeah, and you end up finding that there is like a crew of people that are dying down there in like this like almost like webbing that's like draining them of their life, and one of them is still alive enough to talk to you and tells you, you know, reminds you of who you are, and you're basically part of like this task force that was sent in to kill the Cthulhu-like creature, and he trapped you guys in like this maze essentially. So there's that. So you can find them. I can't remember the specifics, but the real ending is you kill Cthulhu.
Okay.
Or the Cthulhu-like. It's definitely worth playing if you like escape room games. The one thing that really sucks is that there are several boss battles through the game, but the final boss is like a huge difficulty spike. And it's like, and it just, I was so frustrated. I think it took me like 4 or 5 times to beat it. But I was like, this just wasn't necessary for this kind of game.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of people just getting frustrated and quitting. So that sucks. But I would say it's worth playing it again if you like escape room type games. But it doesn't match the incredible Inscription game that it clearly takes inspiration from. So if you were going between this and Inscription all the way, baby. But I would play both. They're different enough where you can enjoy both. But Inscription's just like, can't recommend it enough. Go play Inscription, people. All right, and then finally, I didn't give a rating. 6.
Okay.
Above average. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna dock the Tavern Simulator down to a 4, since it let me down a little bit more.
Okay.
All right. Raven's Watch is a new game that I've been playing. I might end up saving this for co-op with my buddy, because it's kind of like Diablo meets Returnal. It's like a Diablo roguelite. I have a screenshot here.
Diablo is a roguelite.
Well, a little bit more specific in the sense that you choose a character and you level up through a series of levels in this, and if you die, then you have to start over again from the beginning.
Diablo in hardcore mode.
No, there's no it's not a long game. Like if you were to go through this game without dying, you could probably beat it within 2 hours, I would say. But the game, it's a roguelite, so you are clearly going to die. And you're clearly going to... Yeah, it's more like Hades. That's a much better way of putting it. Yeah, absolutely. Much more like Hades. Except there's not just one character. There's several different characters, and they all have completely different ways of playing the game. And I didn't even know this. So when I played the demo, I played the default character that the demo came with, which is basically like, it's this cross between Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. So as it turns out, Red Riding Hood, is that her name? Red Riding Hood?
Yeah.
Why does that sound wrong? Red Riding Hood is the wolf. So this game has a day and night cycle. So during the day, you're the girl in her red hood, creeping around and stabby and throwing bombs and stuff like this. And then
trying to get that picnic basket to grandma's
to get that picnic. Yeah, absolutely. And then at night, you turn into the werewolf, and your entire control scheme and set of moves change. Trying to eat grandma, exactly. You can see the mini map in the bottom right hand corner there. So you're exploring this map. You can get upgrades that alter how your move sets work and how the combos work, and enhance them, so on and so forth, get gear, all that kind of stuff. um I just love games like this. I'm so hooked on games like this that reward you for continuing to play and not giving up. Because even when you die, you still retain and unlock things that
Mhm.
make future runs not necessarily easier, but more robust.
It
More
really does
options.
sound a lot like Hades.
Yes, it's very, very, very
It
much
even
like
kind of
Hades.
looks like Hades.
It does have a very cool art style, similar to Hades, but it's definitely different. It's got a little bit more
Oh
of
yeah,
a cell shaded.
it
I
doesn't
don't
have
know.
the like Mike Mignola style like Hellboy
No,
art.
I'd probably almost say it's more like Darkest Dungeon style visuals. Like it's just it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. But it is very difficult, as a roguelite usually is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I can't say much more than that because I've only played 2 runs. I played one run with the Red Riding Hood character, and then I played one as the Pied Piper. Like all the characters are kind of designed around like fables and stuff like that.
Oh,
So I played the Pied Piper, and he played completely differently. Oh no, sorry, I played 3. I played the Pied Piper, and I played like this like kind of I don't know. I don't think he's a dwarf, but like he's dwarf like in that he has like a big ass beard, and then he's got a big ass sword, and he's got this little worm. What do they call those? The baby dragons, wormlets or worm?
whatever.
Yeah, what are those baby dragons for following you, and it enhances your attacks. It's really robust. I'm really, really enjoying it. So I hope that continues, and we'll see what co-op um, ends up doing to that combo. Um, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's cool. It's got this like, so the day and night cycle is because at the end of the 3 days, so you have 3 days to explore that map as much as you can, and then the final boss of that area spawns, and you have to fight him. You don't have a choice.
Okay.
So you basically are exploring this map to get as powerful as you possibly can, so that you can beat that final boss, and then you move on to the second level.
Is the
Um,
character in this screenshot a monkey man?
Yeah, I think he's kind of like the monkey from what's that Souls like that everyone talked
Black
about
Myth
for a long.
Wukong?
Yeah. He's like that basically. I haven't played this particular character, but that's kind of what he's like. Got the staff and he's a
Yeah,
monkey.
the extending staff. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what the other characters are. I unlocked Aladdin when I was playing, so I've got Aladdin that I can play. I think there's at least 6, but there may be 20. I don't know because you unlock them as you play. So
Okay.
yeah, really enjoying it. I'll have more information on that in the future. Probably
Yeah.
not imminently because I'm probably at this point going to wait and play that with my buddy. But we're playing Grounded still, so
Yeah.
we're probably getting close to beating that. So I should have a review for that, maybe even next week. We'll see.
It sounds kind of neat.
Ravens Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, where are we here? Oh, that's right. Happy birthday, video games. Happy
Hooray.
birthday. So let's see. Let's start with 10 years old. Turning 10 years old this month is Heroes of the Storm. Did you and I ever play this game?
You tried to get me to play it, and we played one time. We played a few matches, and I did not enjoy it. I gave it a try because you seemed really into it, and
I love it.
I'd never played one of these MOBA games before, and I was like, sure, I'll try it out. I don't think I'd be into it, but who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised. I was not surprised. I didn't like it at all, but I tried. I tried, man.
Yeah, I still love the game. There's a screenshot right there. Yeah, it was a. They didn't call it a MOBA. They called it because it's not a traditional MOBA. You don't have like item management, gear management, and all that kind of stuff that happens in those games. You have a talent system, and you level up as a team instead of individually. So it's
well, yeah, but that's nitpicking.
It's a lot simpler.
It's their attempt to cash in on the fact that Dota was built on Warcraft 3.
Definitely, yeah. Much different than Dota, though. I hate Dota. I can't stand MOBAs, honestly. Like, this is the only one that I've played, and they don't call it a MOBA. Actually, no, I did like Smite. I did play Smite for a while. Smite was good. But yeah, I love this game. I'm so sad that they dropped support for it. This was the roster when it was finished. Well, when they put it in maintenance mode.
I mean,
huge roster.
That's not a bad roster to end
No.
with.
No, it's a big roster. It just sucks that there's so many characters in Blizzard's history that they didn't get to get.
Are those empty spaces not yet unlocked, or are they just permanently empty because they never?
They're just permanently empty. They never.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. No. I don't know if it's embarrassing. Like this menu changed as they added people.
Yeah, and whoever took that screenshot didn't activate their Windows.
No, they didn't. I saw that. There's a lot of people who don't activate Windows.
Well, yeah, because they pirate it.
Well, I mean, it's like I didn't pirate mine. I just never activated it, like on my desktop PC, because it doesn't. There's nothing that it prevents you from doing except for like personalization and stuff. Like nothing critical. So I was like, why?
Personalization is critical to me because I need a dark UI. So.
Oh, well, that's fair. But yeah, I love this game. It's great. So happy birthday to Heroes of the Storm. I wish you well. Also turning 10 years old, Batman Arkham Knight. Controversial game. Mm-hmm. The third game in the Rocksteady series.
Man, they should make a Batman game. Pick up hookers and stuff. Steal cars, pick up hookers.
Yeah.
Deal drugs. Indiscriminately kill people.
I will say that and this is blasphemy to a lot of people, but I think this is my favorite out of the 3 games.
Okay.
A lot of people think City is the
I don't really
best one.
I don't really have strong feelings on the Arkham games.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Arkham Asylum's amazing.
I played it and I was like, okay. It's a Batman game. I don't know.
Tough crowd.
I found the combat to be really boring.
Wow, really?
Well,
my god!
It's basically just one button that you hit over and over again.
No, you have to. There's enemies that you have to press a different button to slide under them or jump over them in order to get behind them to hit them. There's your counters, and then there's some that you have to jump over. So it's like all 4 face buttons you have to use constantly. If you just mash buttons, you're going to get absolutely wrecked in that game.
Well, the thing is, I found that I could just mash the attack button, and it seemed to do the trick. I will say I didn't play very far into it because
that's why. Okay.
It just didn't grab me.
Yeah, if you're only facing the beginning baddies, you could probably get away with just mashing the attack button. But once they introduce all the enemy types, there's no way.
I think
it becomes a dance where you're like.
I think part of the problem is I didn't play it right when it came out. I played it like I don't know, like probably a year after it came out, and everyone had been like, "Oh my god, this is the best game ever!" And I was like, "Wow, okay." And I played it, and I was like, "It's okay." You know, like I had
hot take.
I had super high people set me up for astronomically high expectations, and. You know, I know it's dumb to assume that it'll be amazing right from the get-go, but it's just everybody was saying that it was.
And which one
amazing.
Did you play? Asylum?
The first one, yeah, Arkham Asylum.
I mean, it's definitely the simplest of the 3 games. It's because it's not open world, whereas the other 2 are. I don't know. I would say give that another shot. They're fantastic games. Knight's very controversial because of the tank. But I think it's fantastic. It's great.
Well, I'd also have to hope that it performs well because I heard that the PC version
is broken.
Kind of runs like trash.
Yeah, it's fine now. They fixed it. But but yeah, at launch it was a complete mess. It was because they hired someone else to port it, and they completely fucked it up.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. All right. So that's your 10 years old games. Turning 20 years old. a game that was featured on our 20 Questions series. In fact, I think it may have been the first game. Do you remember?
I don't. No, there's no way that was our. No, that wasn't our first one.
I think it was the first game you asked me. I'm pretty sure.
It might have. It was
very early.
Yeah. I like this one. I was actually thinking about this one recently.
Yeah. I don't know how aged or how well it's aged, but
yeah, that's why I haven't gone back and played it.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin my.
I remember it being really fun, but I have a feeling that if I go back and play it now, it'll be like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of just like to leave it in my brain as like, oh yeah, that was that really fun game I played that one time, starring David Duchovny and Marilyn Manson.
I went back and I tried to play Black, and I was like, it's fine. But I remember being just amazed by it, So, I don't know. It's one of those things. Time and place.
Yeah.
Also Black 20 years old.
Black is very visually impressive.
Very, yeah. The dust particle, stuff in that game is just amazing. Consequently, another Alien game came out 20 years ago in June. Can you guess which one it is?
I don't remember. Oh, did that really come out the same month?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Wow.
No.
I remember those being so much further apart. Okay.
Yeah.
This one I loved.
Yeah, this one was funny. Yeah, I never beat these games.
Is that a screenshot from the remake, or is that from the original?
I think it's the remake.
Yeah, because
it's hard to tell.
That looks really good. I don't remember it looking that good.
No.
I mean, I remember it looking fine for the time, but that's
this is the PC version, so maybe this is just a really high res version of Destroy All Humans. But yeah, it's tough to say. I'm not sure if that's the remake or not.
The shadows in it are really good. It might be the remake.
It might be the remake. Yeah.
But yeah, that game was a lot of fun.
Very funny. Yeah. Very funny game. Very Mars Attacks like. Gang, 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 gang. All right. Another game that was featured on our 20 Questions also turned 20 years old.
The alien sounds like Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so funny. Yeah.
And then the other alien sounds like Zim from Invader Zim because, surprise, it's the same actor.
Yep. The next game that turns 20 years old was also featured on 20 Questions, and it's one of our favorites.
Oh, yeah. This is the one where I snatched victory out of the jaws of defeat.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is Medios. Yes. How did you do that?
God, I love this game. Love it so much.
It's actually not that good of a game once you realize that you could just go.
Yeah, it's
but
pretty
it's fun.
Straightforward, but it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Very, very fun. And amazing music.
Mm-hmm.
And sound effects.
And visuals. Like all the little characters dancing around and every level has a different visual style and like different icons for the blocks and everything. Like it looks great.
Yep. It's fantastic. And every time you got a line or whatever it was, there would be a different sound effect depending on how powerful the line was. Mm-hmm. Really cool. Yeah. Great game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And finally, 30 years old. I don't have a screenshot from this game because finding a screenshot of a specific game from this series is very challenging because so many of them look the same, but Street Fighter Alpha.
Yeah, I like Street Fighter Alpha. My preference is, I know I sound like an asshole. My preference is Alpha 3.
I don't know the difference between any of them, so don't ask.
Everybody's got their specific favorite version. I like this game.
Well, you know what game I like a little bit more than this? Actually, a lot more than this because I never played Alpha. Was the next game that turns 30 years old.
Oh, yeah. I have not played Tekken 2.
I did.
I played... the only Tekken games I played were Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag Tournament.
Tekken Tag Tournament's the best in the series, no doubt.
Yeah, I remember them both being pretty fun.
Yeah. No, Tekken's great. I haven't played the new Tekken, but I'm not a fighting game guy. Never really was.
Yeah, neither am I.
For whatever reason, Tag Tournament, felt a little bit more casual than your typical fighting game. So, All right, and that is Happy Birthday Video Games. So happy birthday to
Hooray!
all of you games. Hope you stick around. Hope some of you get remasters that haven't already. All right, Andrew, do you know what time it is?
I'm willing to bet that it is a time for the reading of letters.
It's letter time. It's letter time. And once again, we are hearing from
Could it
El
be?
Capito.
Ah,
Yes.
another returning writer.
Another returning writer, yes. And I love this submission. This one's great. I love hearing about people's video game handles. Tell us about yours. Where does TJ Leo come from? What about on ninjas? And by the way, is it ninjas? Ninjas. Or ninjas?
It is the last.
Okay.
So I can actually, here's the funny thing, I can actually tell you the exact date I came up with that.
Yeah.
It was, and the funny thing is I don't remember the date, but I remember, you can look up what day it was. It was Elvis's birthday in 2002. And the only reason I remember that is because I was in the car and they mentioned that this is the whatever birthday of Elvis Presley. So whatever that was in 2002. And then I played, for some reason I felt like playing Super Mario Brothers 2 that night. And so got home, popped it into the Nintendo, and I was just fucking around, and I hadn't played it in a while, and I hadn't really thought about it too much. And then one of those little ninja guys comes out and starts chasing me, and I was like, it's a ninja, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny that you would scream that a ninja's
ninjas.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm just. You know what? I think I'm just going to use that as a dumb internet handle, and then I just never cared enough to change it to anything.
Hey, it it's timeless now because you've had it for so long. So I can only I can only be envious that you've had a handle for that long because I certainly have not. No, TJ Leo is so TJ is my real name, technically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And Leo's my zodiac. And I'm not I'm not a big believer in the zodiac, but if you look up a Leo, I pretty much identify with like 100% of like what they say Leos are. So I really like that idea. But TJ Leo was.
You know what I did? Well, there's this girl in high school who's really into astrology, and I brought up one time that I was like, why are you so why are you into this? Like it seemed really weird to me, and I don't know, for some reason I didn't feel like minding my own damn business. And she starts going to this thing. I'm like, yeah, and she's like, okay, what's your sign? And I was like, oh, I know what's coming. She's gonna say, oh, that I knew it. So I lied to her and said it was a different sign. She says, I knew it. You're such a whatever. And then I just looked at her and I said, I lied to you. It's actually this. And she didn't really have a response to that.
Owned. It's true. Yeah, I'm not a big believer in the zodiac, but I at the very least identify with what they say a Leo is. But it's far from my first handle. My first ever handle had 3 iterations. So my very first handle was Nintendo Freak. When I first started playing Soldier of Fortune online. And then that eventually shortened because at the time I was really a Nintendo freak in terms of gaming. Like that was my focus. Mm-hmm. But then it started to evolve. So just because I was an idiot, I shortened it to N Freak so that people didn't know what the N stood for. Mm. But I retained that name idea, and then it got shortened again, and I can't remember why. Oh yeah. So when I was playing Soldier of Fortune, people got really pissed off that I was as good as I was because I was the typical guy that they would say you're aimbotting.
Yeah.
And which I wasn't. take a lot of pride in how good I was at that game. I was really good. But that's because I played that thing 10 hours a day.
Yeah, you played it a lot.
Love that game. And I don't know, someone tried to get under my skin. So they shortened my name from N-Freak to NFK. And I was like, well, what does that stand for? And they're like, no fucking kills. And then the next day I thought about it and I was like, nope, I'm NFK. And I came in as NFK and then blew him away or something like that. And got under his skin, something like that. So I went as NFK for a long time. And then I had 8 handles after that between then and now. And I couldn't tell you what the majority of them were. But those are the ones that I remember the most having. Maybe I should go back to NFK. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you for your email, El Capito. And once again, you ask us questions, but you don't answer your own. We want to hear your answers to these questions too. Why are you El Capito? Or Capito? I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
Maybe
I've been saying
that's
it
just
El
their
Capito.
title. Maybe they're just the Capito.
The Capito. Yeah. It's certainly possible. All right. That's letter time, ladies and gentlemen, which means it's time for the Metacritic check-in. First off is To a T, which we talked about on the last episode of Press Pause the Gaming Podcast. This is the game from the Katamari Damacy dude. Sitting at a 74.
Okay. His games are usually kind of weird. They're either very successful, like Katamari Damacy, or people just look at them and they're like, this is cool?
Strange. Strange or cool. Yeah.
Like Nobi Boy.
I read a brief synopsis of the game somewhere, and it said something along the lines of you're a child who has some sort of disorder that forces them into a T-pose all the time. And it's something to do with playing that character. I don't know. It's on Game Pass. I haven't downloaded. I haven't checked it out yet, though. My list of games right now is just astronomical. It's ridiculous.
Now that I'm thinking about Nobi Boy, I wonder how long Girl is.
Nobi Girl?
Yeah, she's probably pretty big by now. That game came out a long time ago.
Yes, it did. Let's see what else we got. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo is finally out, which took me by surprise because I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to play that game. And it's sitting at an 87 on Metacritic, so doing really well. I plan on reviewing that game for the show at some point. Like I said, there's just so many games to play right now. It's I should have reviews of games every week at this point for the next little while. The PC has opened the door.
Yeah, it sure has.
To a lot of stuff, and plus there's just so much coming out. And Game Pass is overflowing with games. So it's a good month. So yeah, that's Pipistrel and the Cursed Yo-Yo, and then finally Elden Ring Night Rain is out. That's the 3-player multiplayer roguelite game, sitting at a 77 from critics.
Yeah, I watched some footage of that today, and I could not understand what the fucking point was. It's here's Elden Ring again, but
it's not though.
Not. It's
the controls aren't even like Elden Ring. They changed the controls. It's really weird.
So weird.
Because I played the beta. Remember?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a 1 or 3 player roguelite.
But no 2-player. What the fuck?
No, they said they may add that in a patch. I think someone's already demonstrated that it can be modded to do that.
Oh yeah.
But apparently, if you people that played it day one and tried to play it solo got absolutely wrecked. It wasn't balanced properly for solo play. It has sold really well though. I think it's 2 million in the first 24 hours.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it's gonna kill. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Metacritic check-in, which means it's time for the news. And because it's the beginning of the month, we're going to start off with noteworthy games to be released in June. And boy, oh boy, June's a beast. So we start off with Nintendo Switch 2. Not a game, but a new console is arriving on the shelves next week Holy cramoly. It's
Mhm.
happening. Pucker up. Pucker that butthole. It's coming. Which means...
Wait. Hold on. Let's just back up a minute there. What does the butthole have to do with
I
this?
don't know.
What? What are
I
you
don't know.
implying? I don't think that's how you play the game.
Well, in my mind, I was like, prepare for that price. That's what was going in my mind. But it didn't come out that way.
It sounds
Kinda
like it's going in some way.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I am using some bad terminology today.
Yeah,
Right.
let's just leave the butthole out of it.
No buttholes. No buttholes. All right. Switch 2 also comes. Switch 2 comes out on June 5th, which means also coming out on June 5th is Mario Kart World.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope it's good. I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, it's a Mario Kart game. They're usually pretty good.
Yeah. Obviously, because the Switch 2 is launching, a whole host of games are coming to Switch 2. I'm not going to go over those because they're just ports.
Mm-hmm.
I also did not include Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour on this list because fuck that shit. Not paying $9 for a tech demo. Not going to do that. Let's see what else comes out here. Dragon is Dead comes out of early access going into 1.0. It's a roguelite action platformer that was getting really, really good reviews. I think it's sitting at like a 4.6 on Steam, something like that. Like overwhelmingly positive. It's kind of got an interesting art style.
Is that from the Salt and Sanctuary people, or
it says Team Suneat and PM Studios,
or the what was the other one?
Oh, are you thinking Blasphemous?
Yeah.
No, that's not the Blasphemous people. They're making Oh, I should know that. Oh, they're making the Ninja Gaiden game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The one that looked really good.
Yeah, Ragebound, I think it's called. Let's see what else we got here. Also coming out in June, Dune Awakening comes to Windows. It's the survival MMO that's getting a lot of attention. We'll see how it ends up doing.
Why does it look like the gun is a purple snail?
Yeah, I see what you mean. That's funny. It doesn't even look like a gun. It looks like a mining laser.
I mean, it might very well be a mining laser.
It might be. Yeah. The game looks interesting. I'm kind of. It's a wait and see for me on this one to see if it lives up to what it could be. This one also, the next game kind of creeped up on me. I had no idea it was coming out already because it felt like it was just announced. Mind's Eye.
Yeah.
So this is the game from Build a Rocket Boy and IO Interactive, from the guy who used to work at Rockstar making the GTA games.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the news recently saying that, or I don't think it was him. It was somebody on the team saying that people are trying to sabotage this game in the public eye.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of unsubstantiated. I think he's just one of those guys that lives on Twitter and sucks in the negativity, and that's all he knows.
Yeah.
But I saw the gameplay overview trailer, and this game's weird, man. I don't know what to think about this game. I feel like this is going to be a dud. But I hope the best for them.
Oh,
they did reveal at the end of the trailer after showing off all this gameplay. Like the gameplay was weird. Like it's a it's a third person shooter, open world. But then they showed off these mini games. Like they showed off there's a CPR mini game where you're doing CPR on a dude.
Like in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one part where you had to perform CPR on that kid?
Yeah.
And there was a whole rhythm mini game for it?
Yeah. But there's many mini games. They showed that, and then they showed you're controlling a satellite up in space or something, and then there's a bunch of little mini games, and I was like, what are they doing with this game? And then at the end of the trailer, they were talking about remember how I said that I think this was the game that was supposed to come out alongside this platform of kind of Dreams?
Yeah.
Well, apparently that's still a part of it. It's called Build the Mind's Eye. Huh. And they talked about it at the end of the the trailer, and it's like this. It's this platform where you can make your own missions in your own world.
Like
and
level editor
yeah,
kind of
they give
thing.
you access to all the assets of the game and just say,
That's
here you
kind of
go,
cool.
do what you want. Yeah, I'm kind of curious if the gameplay will be good enough to where people will be like, oh, well, let's see what I can do with this.
Yeah. The
Um,
thing with games like that is that the levels that come with the game have to be compelling.
yeah,
You can't just make it like basically a tutorial and then say, okay, now you
right.
make the content for free. If
Yeah, it
it's
can't be like Little Big Planet.
yeah, but it has to be less of a Little Big Planet and more of a Trials HD,
Yes, that's a good
because
way of
those
putting it.
levels are great.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
they
they're
give
great.
you like the most amazing level editor in a fucking dirt biking game.
Yep, yeah, great series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw there's a lot of cinematics and stuff, and they're visually impressive, and the lip syncing is really spot on. Like it looks like
That's
they're
good.
great motion capture, unlike a game that I played recently. I can't remember. I feel like I was talking about bad lip sync recently. Oh, Expedition 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's one to keep your mind's eye on.
Uh-huh.
All right.
That's the
So
best
that
you're getting out of me.
I tried. So that comes out on the 10th as well. So does the Space Marine remaster. Comes out on the 10th. Figured I'd mention that as well.
Oh, okay.
Next big noteworthy game is Alters is finally coming out on the 13th. This is the one I played the demo of, where you're stranded on an alien planet and you clone yourself, but you don't just clone yourself. You like clone yourself from different versions of your life had you made different decisions.
Huh.
This is by the Frostpunk guys,
Oh, yeah.
and I think there's some people on this team from. It might be the same team actually. It's the war game we always talk about. This War of Mine.
This War of Mine, yeah.
Yeah. The demo didn't sell me on it 100%, but it has me super intrigued. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this game does critically.
So here's my question:
Yeah.
are there starving children in it? Because then you know for sure it's the This War is Mine people.
No, you're the only one on the planet. It's just you. So definitely not. Gex Trilogy, the remaster, comes out on the 16th. For those interested in that. FBC Firebreak. Speaking of Control,
Yeah.
that's the multiplayer first-person shooter from Remedy. I saw a preview of it, and I don't know, man. I don't know how this game's gonna do.
Yeah, so here's my question. Do you have all of those powers in this game?
No, you are not her. You are the like
Rank and file soldiers?
yeah, basically. But they have access to all these like fucking weird ass weapons.
Yeah.
Like you can see it just in this trailer. There's a dude with like a
water cannon or something.
Yeah, it's like a bubble cannon, and there's a guy with like a jackhammer that's electrified, and then there's a dude with like an axe, but it's like also a like a chopper or a vice or something, and he's got something strapped to his back. I watched the gameplay, and it's super weird. I don't know. I don't think this is going to do very well. I stay in your lane, Remedy. That's kind of what I'm thinking here.
That's a very weird decision. If there was a game where you had like a team working with abilities like you have in Control, that might be kind of neat. I could see some like really interesting obstacle courses you'd have to get through with like, shifting terrain and stuff like that, but without that, it's like, oh, I get to be the people that I have trouble keeping alive in this game because they're so squishy.
Yeah, and I think it's just a is it a oh, it's PvE. Okay, I didn't realize that. Yeah, player versus environment, in which a group of 3 players must venture into the oldest house.
3 again? Why?
Yeah, they like the 3. I don't know what it is about the 3. Yeah. Well, Helldivers is 4, so not every game's doing it, but there's definitely a lot of games doing the 3. Apex Legends did 3. Maybe they just find that there's more people that know each other that play together that are in 3s than 4s.
Maybe.
I don't know. And the game is set
easier to write netcode for.
The game is set after the events of Control, but before everything else. So
yeah, I would expect that it is.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Bum, 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 bum. Is that it? Oh no, there's a big one.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, that's this month. Yeah,
How am I going to afford that?
Yeah, the 28th. It's coming. I mean, I wouldn't buy it right away because it's going to get patched to hell.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
You know, they added a shitload to Death Stranding after the game came out, so I would just wait.
Yeah,
I'm kind of that on that. I'm on that train with AAA now. I'm just like, you know what? For the most part, wait for 6 months
and put in all the content. Yeah,
yeah. Because these games don't launch finished anymore. They don't. They're too big.
Yeah.
So yeah,
now you know why my backlog is so big. Now you know why the list exists.
The list, yeah. We both have lists now, man. It
took me 6 years to get to Control.
No.
It took me almost as long to get to Death Stranding.
Yep. I think that's it. Let me just double check.
Look forward to hearing me talk about Doom: The Dark Ages in 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah, let's get into the actual news, starting with EA, which is all over the news. So I have 3 different articles from EA this week. So first off, the big news of the week is EA is canceling its planned Black Panther game and shutting down Cliffhanger Games. In an email sent to staff from EA Entertainment President Laura Meal, said that these changes, alongside other recent cancellations and layoffs, are being done to sharpen our focus and put our creative energy behind the most significant growth opportunities.
Are they still making an Iron Man game?
Well, we'll get to that. Well, we'll get to that. When asked for an exact number of individuals impacted, EA declined to comment. But IGN has understood that the total number of affected individuals in this wave is less than the 300 rules cut last month across Respawn and EA's fan care teams, but cannot confirm by how much.
Less than 300, so 299? That's acceptable losses.
Yeah. What else was in here? Okay, yeah, it goes. The email that she sent out goes on to confirm that EA is now refocusing its efforts to a small handful of franchises going forward. These franchises are Battlefield, The Sims, Skate, and Apex Legends. Miley also reassures EA will continue to invest in its Iron Man game at Motive and the third Star Wars Jedi game, as well as maintain its mobile business.
What the fuck was the last time they put out a Skate game? Was it Skate 3?
Yeah, there's been a Skate game in development for like a long time. They've talked about it several times.
Wasn't
at, like,
Skate 3
shows.
On like the Xbox One?
Yeah, it's been a long time. 10 plus years.
This is like when Sega said that they were going to focus on Aliens, Bayonetta, Sonic, and what was the other thing? I fucking forget, but that all went out the window. Yeah,
exactly. The email doesn't mention EA Sports, but this is due to Miley running EA Entertainment, while EA Sports is a completely separate division. IGN understands that the sports division is unaffected by these changes for now, and IGN has also understood that the current intention is for BioWare to continue working on Mass Effect.
Okay.
So we've got that. And then EA developers have taken to social media to react to the news that its Black Panther game is canceled and its developer Cliffhanger Games is shutting down. Little was known of Black Panther after its announcement in 2023, though we knew it was going to be a single-player action-adventure open-world game. Black Panther was being developed by the now-closed Cliffhanger Games, which was formed in 2023, with some former developers of the much-beloved Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor team.
Cool. And great idea to cancel a game by those folks who made 2 really successful games.
Well, didn't they close that studio too? Monolith?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they keep fucking that team over.
Yeah.
And headed up by Kevin Stevens. In an email sent to staff from EA Entertainment, we talked about these already. Blah 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 blah. Following the news, EA staff and others who worked on the game took to social media to wave goodbye to Black Panther and call on other companies to snap up developers affected by the studio closure. There's like 18 different like tweets and stuff here, but it's basically all were heartbroken. The game was looking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, etc. So on and so forth. So. Patrick Wren, senior encounter designer on Jedi Survivor at Respawn, simply said, "Morale has been at an all-time low. I can say that much."
I feel like morale is probably generally at an all-time low at EA and
At
the
EA and
satellite studios.
in a lot of video game companies.
Yeah.
The industry is just collapsing in on itself. The bubble has burst. And also in EA news, both EA and Marvel are adamant that the changes announced changes nothing for the partnership between the two companies, which will still be developing at least 3 games together, starting with Iron Man. Back in 2023, Marvel and EA signed a deal for 3 games, one of which was the in-progress Iron Man game being developed at Motive, with a second being Cliffhanger's Black Panther. The third game has yet to be revealed, though. The cancellation of Black Panther prompted questions as to the status of the collaboration, but both EA and Marvel have since provided statements to IGN asserting that the 3-game deal is still in place, with Motive Studio taking the lead. So my guess is that Motive is going to finish Iron Man and then start something else.
Maybe.
But
until they
we
get
don't
shut
know.
down too.
Right? Like we haven't seen the Iron Man game yet.
So here's my question. How much tech do you think is going to be recycled from Anthem in the Iron Man game? Because I remember when Anthem was first shown off, everybody was like, "Oh, I see. They're doing. We have Iron Man at home."
It's a good question. I don't know. I still say Anthem's a highly underrated game and underappreciated. I think it plays great. I didn't get to the end game, obviously, and that's where people said the game falls apart. But there's the juice of something good in there. So I can definitely see them, using the Iron Man stuff, or using that stuff for Iron Man. But EA's not doing well, which is a total shame because they have IP up the ass that they could make stuff for, and I really wish we could have at least seen Black Panther. Seen what they were doing.
Yeah.
That being said, though, the game was only in development for two years.
Oh, so. Only 2 years. People only spent 2 years of their life.
Oh, that's not what I meant. I meant it was only in development for 2 years. So I don't know what we would have seen from it with only being in development for 2 years. Like a game of AAA level takes 5 years, 6 years. Yeah. So if they were only 2 years into it, I don't really know like how far they got. That's the issue, right? But yeah, best wishes to all of the folks laid off. That sucks. Hopefully you guys find your footing. I'm sure you will. All right, next up, we have a pair of Xbox news, Microsoft news. First of which, Microsoft has reportedly pulled back on developing its own Xbox handheld console. We have a TJ Leo was right moment, ladies and gentlemen. Who said, I said it in the chat and I said it on the show, something's funky. Why the hell would you release a third-party version of your handheld console a year before you are launching or 2 before you're launching your own version of it? It doesn't make any sense. What's happening here? I knew something was funky. The article continues, Microsoft was reportedly planning to launch its own handheld device sometime around 2027, potentially alongside its next-gen Xbox. However, a new report from Windows Central now claims Microsoft's priorities have shifted, with the team now focusing on improving Windows 11 gaming performance for third-party devices, working alongside partners like Asus and its Xbox-branded handheld device, codenamed Project Kenan, or Kenan. According to Windows Central, staff were initially internally informed that priorities are moving more deeply towards third-party OEM handhelds in the interim. I do wonder what caused the shift, though. Mm-hmm. Maybe they thought it wasn't worth the money that they'd have to invest to manufacture these things, given how poorly the Xbox Series is selling.
Well,
maybe.
Microsoft has long had a trouble to committing to things.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was just, them going, nah, no, we're not going to do this anymore.
Now, that being said, the report does state that the successor to the Xbox Series is still happening, and they have no intention not to
Yeah, well,
create the next Xbox.
that's one of the rare exceptions. Is Microsoft has committed super hard to the Xbox.
Well, you'd think they'd give up the Ghost at this point, given how much they're getting their ass kicked. But they do have that Steam integration potentially that could save them. So we'll see how that unfolds.
All right.
Going to be a while before we see that, though. And you'll love this one. I don't know if you heard about this one. No, you will. You will legitimately love it.
Okay.
Today, as of this writing, which was literally today, it was updated today, over 300 unionized quality assurance workers at ZeniMax Media, who work on everything from The Elder Scrolls to Doom, have announced they have reached a tentative deal with parent company Microsoft on their first contract since forming their union 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
ZeniMax Workers United, which is unionized under Communications Workers of America, said the agreement includes the following: substantial across-the-board wage increases,
Good.
minimum salaries,
Good.
protection against arbitrary dismissal,
Very good.
grievance procedures, protections around the use of artificial intelligence that could impact workers, and a crediting policy to ensure QA workers are appropriately credited in games they work on.
Yes. That's
really
super important.
Yep. ZeniMax Media owns publisher Bethesda Softworks and development studios Bethesda Game Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, and ZeniMax Online Studios.
All right. That is good news. That's great.
Yeah, thought you'd like that one.
Yeah.
It's the first contract of its kind at a U.S. video game studio.
Yeah. That's progress, man.
Congratulations to them. Should set a potentially new standard for gaming.
If only that EA studio had those protections, they wouldn't have gotten fucking shut down along with
the Sony ones.
Canceled. Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations to ZeniMax Media.
Congratulations, guys.
All right. Let's get back to some shitty news.
Oh, fuck me.
Sorry, man. Call of Duty Black Ops is in the news, and it's not a good thing. With the launch of Call of Duty Season 4, Activision quietly put advertisements inside loadouts for Black Ops 6 and Warzone, sparking a backlash in the process.
Advertisements in loadouts?
Yeah. The loadouts are, you know what the loadouts are, right? Where you pick all your weapons and all that
screen?
Shit. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, was it like, oh yeah, your loadout includes the M16 sponsored by Pepsi? Like,
oh yeah, no, yeah, no.
Okay, so there's like a little advertisement on the screen while you're picking your guns. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. So it's a little bit more specific. So Activision already has a bad reputation for the aggressive monetization of the premium Black Ops 6. And it's free-to-play Battle Royale Warzone. But this latest move may have tipped some players over the edge. Following the launch of Season 4, advertisements for weapon bundles can be seen in the build and weapons menus. These are unavoidable for players as they tinker with their loadouts. Elsewhere, Activision has added bundle and battle pass advertisements to the events tab, another controversial change that is causing complaints. Here's a snippet of the response sourced from all across Call of Duty subreddits, Discords, and social media. These are quotes. I wouldn't even be mad if this was just in Warzone, a free game, but putting it in a pay-to-play premium title with how expensive they're getting, fuck off.
Yeah.
This game is still £80. I get that they make most of their money from the store, but I feel like the bare minimum for a premium product would be to not have ads clogging the menus, right?
Yeah.
At this point, it really feels like opening up a mobile game with how much more you see an option to buy anything in this game.
That is damning.
Yeah. Anyone who wanted this bundle would have checked the store and bought it. Putting it here isn't going to make anybody buy it. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Just wait until they add pop-up ads for bundles while you're playing the game.
Oh, God. Don't give them any ideas.
Yeah. A little, video, you know how the webcam will come up sometimes in Call of Duty when you're talking to, in the story mode?
I don't play Call of Duty games, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, sometimes a little screen pops up and this an image of the person that's talking to you appears, and they're like, Agent Smith, going to what? Oh, no, something like that. Imagine if it's just an ad that appears.
Yeah.
Buy Pepsi.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know what'll be the worst thing, and I guarantee somebody wants to do this, or somebody may even have the patent, is that it like scans what you're saying during voice chat, and if you're like, oh man, hold on guys, I'm really thirsty, then it would like pop up an ad for Pepsi or something.
Mm-hmm.
We keep picking on Pepsi. I'm sorry, Pepsi.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I like Pepsi.
No, fuck
sorry.
you, Pepsi. Why am I apologizing to Pepsi? I was
To a
going to say sorry.
multi-billion-dollar company.
I just picked it at random. No, I will not apologize to the company. Fuck you. I feel bad for saying fuck you to people. I know, shocking. Me feeling bad telling people to fuck off, but then I'm like, no, it's Pepsi.
Fuck you know what? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Fuck you, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, sure. You know what? Fuck Coca-Cola.
You used AI. Fuck you, Coca-Cola.
You used AI in that fucking shitty ass advertisement.
Bravo, Pepsi.
Bravo for not being complete shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But also fuck you.
All right. Switch 2 news.
That's like, just before we get to the Switch stuff, that's like, remember in Battlefield 2142 when they had the advertisements show up on the billboards in game?
Yeah. I mean, they did that in Death Stranding. There was like Monster Energy drink and stuff.
Yeah, but these would change, and they were per player. So each player would see like
a different ad.
A different ad. That
just Google ads in the game.
Yeah, and that was a long time ago too. That was like 15 years ago. That's like the closest to in-game advertising that I'd be willing to accept. Because, like, okay, you're putting it on a billboard in a game. I guess that's the place where it would go. But like when you're in your loadout trying, like, because you're messing around with the UI, having an additional distraction on there, that's a fucking dick move. Like, that's not just like really fucking whiny. Like, hey, spend more money on the game, guys. It's also offensive as a designer that you would make the loadout process that much more difficult by having an additional distraction. If they put, like,
it's not even like just a distraction in Call of Duty. Like, so like when you have your selection of guns, the ad for the bundle thing will be at the top of the list of things you could select.
Oh,
so the first thing your cursor goes to,
get you to accidentally click it and then get you into the store and be like, hey, like that one person commented, like, if it was in the store, if they were just like letting you know, hey, these are the bundles that we have deals on, then it'd be fine, because you're going to the in-game store to, like, you're there to spend money. So showing you advertisements in the space where you're
in the store,
where you're planning to spend money, that's a different story. But during the fucking loadouts, fuck off.
Yeah. We have a second letter that goes along with this article. So I'm going to read the article, and then I'm going to get to the letter.
Okay.
So your article reads, it looks like some folks have gotten their hands on a Nintendo Switch 2 console early, despite Nintendo's best efforts. But unfortunately for leak enjoyers, not only is it unusable without a day one patch, but also the video was copyright struck almost immediately. This comes from an 8-second YouTube video viewed by IGN, but now struck over a copyright claim. Which showed what convincingly seemed to be a Nintendo Switch 2 box being opened to reveal the console inside, wrapped in plastic. That's it. Just the hardware in a box. If it's not real, it's a convincing fake, and the speedy copyright claim from anti-piracy firm WebCapio suggests it's likely real. But per the poster, they won't be able to confirm its legitimacy until June 5th, copyright or not, as it allegedly needs a launch update to work. And as this has gone out, more and more people that have got the console early, either being shipped it early by accident, which has happened to me before. I've had games arrive like 5 days early from Amazon and stuff like that. So it does happen. But apparently the console is basically a brick, unless you have internet to connect to get the patch. So the letter addresses this. So this is from Sim31, who has written in before and is my PC donor.
Yeah, generous PC donor.
Yes. He says, quote, with Target and possible other retailers releasing the Switch 2 early in some customers' hands, unfortunately, the Switch 2 won't play anything, and it's effectively a paperweight. This has been known to happen with past games, breaking street dates, and even past generation consoles getting into the customer's hands early, with no fault on the customer. Just a unexpected surprise. They get to play with the game and or console early because of a goof up from the retailer and not have to worry about being locked out unless you connect online and get an update. But what's your all's stance on this?
I think locking it behind a day one update is kind of stupid. People are always going to get their hands on it early. And what if somebody doesn't
have internet?
Yeah. You know,
they have a paperweight. They have a console they can't use, so they got to take it to someone's house that does have internet. That's stupid.
Find a Starbucks and use the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why are you locking your console behind a day one update?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I get that it's to counter piracy.
I get why they do it, but there's a lot of places where this could go wrong.
Yeah, can you imagine the amount of people that might send it back thinking it doesn't work if they don't have internet? Maybe they just don't know. They turn it on, it doesn't work. It's
yeah,
that's
there might be there. I suppose there could be some kind of internal clock thing that once it reaches the launch date, it'll unlock automatically. Maybe, but I don't know.
I guess that's possible. But it does say a day one patch, so I don't know. I guess we'll find out in 5 days.
Yeah,
5 or 6 days.
How much of a brick is it? If it's a complete brick, how would you even get it online for the day one patch? So there's got to be some level of functionality, even if it only just turns on and says, update required. You'd have to at least be able to configure a network on it.
So it says when they try to boot up a Switch game, it says please connect to the internet and update your system.
Oh, okay.
That's why. So the UI, I guess, works, but but if you try to play a game, it just gives you that error message. They even tried to play a Switch 1 game, and it didn't work. So, the article does confirm, or does elaborate, though. It is, of course, entirely possible that these are elaborate fakes, though their veracity may soon be confirmed if either Switch 2 owner, so they reference two different people have reported this issue, does a full unboxing or shows the system message telling them to update. In that case, videos will like these will seemingly be the only early look we get at the new console until June 5th, which is not a long point. Sim31 is actually in the chat, and he adds something here. There's going to be a rare instance where someone buys one of these Switch 2s and stores it for years and years. What happens when they what happens when they or someone else sell it, opens it up finally and tries to play it, but the online servers are long shut down?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Paperweight.
Well,
yeah, let's hope that it's just a clock problem. Although you would think someone would try that, though.
Here's the thing. Oh, they probably don't give you access to change the date and time.
That's possible.
Here's the thing. The solution to the theory that was presented, by the time that happens, this thing will be cracked wide open. Hackers will have access to everything.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
And everybody's going to be hacking their system by that point anyway, because it's no longer going to be supported.
Yep.
It's like when you get like a new old stock Wii. What are you gonna be like?
You gonna buy games for it?
I'm not going to put emulators on this. Of course you fucking are.
Yeah. Yeah. Good letter though. Like it. Let's move on to The Order 1886. When did you ever think you would hear about this game again? So alternative history PS4 exclusive The Order 1886 was originally meant to be the first in a trilogy, one of its developers has revealed. Two other games
surprise me at all.
The Order 1891 and The Order 1899 were also planned. Creative director of The Order 1886 explained in a French language interview the sequel was in the early stages of development before it was canceled.
Was the sequel also 6 hours long?
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, I think IGN gave the original game a 6.5. Yeah. Yeah, I played it. I beat it. It was fine. The ending was very frustratingly. It was like Halo 2 like.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was like a super huge cliffhanger and you're
Except
like, fucking really?
It didn't have a guaranteed sequel like Halo 2 did.
No. Yeah, so that game is just like a story that will never be completed.
Yeah. Also, can I just for a moment, say, I've never understood people being so upset at Halo 2 ending on a cliffhanger. Like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? It's the middle of an obvious trilogy. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't think it was specifically that it was a cliffhanger. I think the specifics of it was that the entire ad campaign for that game was finish the fight.
no, that was for Halo 3.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I remember being annoyed at the end of it when they were he was like on a spacecraft returning to Earth, right?
Yeah.
I think. And he goes, finishing this fight.
Yeah, Ron Perlman's like, Master Chief, what are you doing on that ship? And Chief is like, sir, finishing this fight. And then that's it. That's the end. It's like, yeah. And then they made Finish the Fight the ad campaign for
3.
For 3. Remember they had like the diorama with the
explosion,
and
that
then
was an
Chief,
amazing thing.
Yeah, Chief lights the plasma grenade and then tilts his head up to look at the camera, and then that's it.
Oh, that's right. Oh.
Yeah, that was a good commercial.
That ad campaign was like another level.
Yeah.
That launch of Halo 3 was like something I've never seen before in any entertainment.
You give somebody Bungie's art to work with, you have a pretty strong start.
Unless they copyright it.
Yeah, unless they stole it from somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. All right. Moving on. Get your bingo cards out.
Oh. Brute Force 2. No, damn it.
This one's funny, though. This one's actually funny. A commemorative plaque celebrating the release of Sony's beleaguered shooter Concord is up for auction on a Goodwill online store with bids of over $3,000. The plaque, given to funding free gunner North Star crew Chelsea Grace, celebrates the worldwide Concord launch on August 23rd, 2024. Grace was reportedly credited as outsourcing and co-dev lead, although it's unclear if she has personally donated this plaque or if it was somehow lost and donated when PlayStation shut down developer Firewalk Studios towards the end of last year.
All you need to do is add the whatever 2 week later date was, and it becomes a tombstone.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll be worth a lot of money, though, that thing.
Maybe they'll make more money on it than they did the game.
Oh, well, that's definitely true because they made $0 on that game.
Well, technically, they made negative money on that game.
Yeah, technically they lost money. But yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought that was cute. Oh, man. Okay.
We laughed, but that's still like a really depressing story.
Oh, it's so depressing. It's so bad. Well, here's a much better piece of news.
Okay.
Expedition 33 has sold 3.3 million copies in 33 days, which is a lot of threes.
Yes.
Expedition 33 has sold 3.3 million in 33 days. Not bad for a game that some thought was going to get absolutely destroyed by the Oblivion remaster.
Yeah, that was certainly a reversal of fortunes.
Yeah.
People are still talking about Expedition 33. I don't hear a lot of people going nuts over the Oblivion. I mean, it's obviously a different situation there because everybody's played Oblivion already. So what are they going to talk about? Oh my God, I can't believe that fucking Sean Bean turned into a dragon at the end of the game. It's like, yeah, we've known about that for what like
20 years.
17 years or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I did stop playing Expedition 33, so I think I'm going to return to it. However, I did find out that it's not as long of a game as I thought it was. I'm probably about halfway through the game. So I'm a little like, do I? But I think with all of the other games that are out, I'm okay to come back to Expedition 33 at some point in the future.
Yeah.
But
I've been hearing like just tons and tons of praise for this game. So,
Yep.
Good on them.
Yeah, I hope it gets a movie. If there was ever a game that should get a movie, this one's one of them. It's so unique. It's really, really good. All right, and we always leave our news on PlayStation Plus and Game Pass updates. There's no Game Pass updates as of yet, but PlayStation Plus monthly games for June 2025 have been confirmed, plus a bonus game for the catalog and classics catalog have been announced as well. So the free games coming to PlayStation Plus, Essential, and all tiers above that are NBA 2K25 for PS5 and PS4, Alone in the Dark 2024 for PS5, which that one I actually wanted to play, so I'll be playing that. Yet
Okay.
another game to add my fucking huge list at this point. It's insane. I'm like under a pile of games right now, which is
Mm-hmm.
not a bad problem to have. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, PS5 and PS4. Never heard of that one. And Destiny 2, The Final Shape, PS5 and PS4.
Play it now before Bungie deletes the content.
Yeah, or they go out of business. Sim 31 is talking about some Xbox Game Pass stuff, but we already went over that last week. They announced it last week. We're good, bro. But thank you for looking out. Yeah, I can't wait to play Metaphor on Game Pass. Cannot wait. Anyway, oh, I did briefly play that spray paint simulator we talked about.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, not a game for me.
Yeah.
Not a game for me at all. Adding games being added to the game catalog includes Skull and Bones. Remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
The Ubisoft pirate
Yeah.
multiplayer pirate game. Another Crab's Treasure. I've played that one. That one's funny. It's a Souls-like where you play as a crab under the ocean. It's really funny. Destiny 2 Legacy Collection. So basically, you can play the entire Destiny 2 game and all expansions by the looks of it.
But I
PS
thought
Plus
that they
extra.
like literally deleted a bunch of that content because
I don't think
there's some lawsuit and they could not bring, like, as part of the discovery process, they couldn't bring it because they'd like actually deleted it or some shit.
so. I don't know. I mean, there was some content that's been removed from the game because like expansions that came after it ruined those things, like deleted them because they take place in the same areas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because Destiny is kind of an open world, and some of the areas got changed by expansions that came later.
Yeah,
So
it's almost like, can you imagine if they were able to do something crazy, like, I don't know, create some sort of separate instance of an area at a different point in time, or maybe so that multiple people could play in these multiple instances of an
or just make
area?
a sequel before you start changing the shit out of your game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. GTA 3 Definitive Edition, which is fixed, by the way. Also coming. And the PS5 and PS4 versions of Myst and Myst 2 Riven.
Oh yeah, that Riven remake is fucking incredible looking.
Yeah, yeah. I never played any of the Myst games except for Myst 1, and I obviously didn't beat it because you have to be a fucking like
Yeah,
scientific
I've
rocket
played a little bit of
genius.
Mist, and I've played a sliver of Riven.
Mm, yeah. I
The
do
reason,
plan on playing Myst at some point because
yeah,
I feel like as a gamer of my age
you kind
that
of
like
gotta.
yeah, it's like one of those like rites of passage. It's like, did you beat Myst? You know what I'm saying? So
I'm not sure how
like,
many people could answer that in the
I
affirmative.
know. I know, right? It's just like one of those like proud things that you can walk around saying like,
I've played a
yeah,
whole bunch of that first island, and then I kind of get tired, you know.
yeah. That first island's brutal. Like the piano and everything. It's like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
it's a
I
hard
don't
game.
have a lot of patience for games where I have to get out a pen and paper and write things
Yes,
down.
yeah.
Um, and,
Blueprints is very much like that, which
yeah,
has turned me off from that game.
and like I realize in some cases that's just a product of the time. Like you're not gonna have a fucking adventure journal in Ultima 5, a fucking Apple II game that comes on like 5 discs,
Yeah.
right? So you're gonna write it down, and that's just how it was. And in fact, the reason I say Ultima 5 specifically is because I did have a text file dedicated to keeping track of my progress in that game. But that's a game
Um,
from the 80s, so it was like, well, you just need to. It's like instruction manuals used to have a note section, so you had no excuse not to, you had somewhere to take notes, or write down passwords so that when other people rented the game, they could, you know, jump way ahead. Um, but yeah, like to play, and I guess like because Mist is from like what 1992 or whatever.
Mhm.
It is still kind of a game from that era, but you gonna tell me you couldn't keep like a checklist of things that you've done in a fucking hypercard stack? Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So that's what's coming to PlayStation Plus. There's been some the PlayStation Days of Play has started, which is their yearly super sale before the summer starts.
Mm,
So all of their stuff is basically discounted right now. Um, so the PS5 um, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 bundle is down to $3.99 US,
okay.
509.99 Canadian. Um, the PS5 Pro is down $50. There's also like huge discounts on the Pulse headsets and the Edge controller and all that kind of stuff. So if you're in the market for any PS5 stuff, now is definitely the time to do it. Especially because I highly suspect that once this Days of Play uh, sale is over, is probably when they're going to start talking about the price increase. This is like the last hurrah before they start raising the price to match Nintendo and Xbox. Because right now with this sale, they're cheaper than all of them, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So, especially when you're leading, it's pretty crazy. So
Or maybe they'll do something cool and try to undercut them.
that would be badass. Although I don't know why you would undercut them after a sale. Undercut your sale price.
No, undercut Nintendo and Microsoft, and just like
Oh,
continue to sell at a lower price and be like, "Hey, you can get a PS5 for
so just
whatever."
keep it the same price. Yeah,
Yeah.
they could. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the news. You know what that means?
Kapow! Screenshot scope. Boom. Headshot.
Whoa,
Remember that?
whoa, kapow, whoa. Yeah, it's time for screenshot scope. Let's see. Let me break that out here. Gotta do the old
Remember
switcheroo.
FPS Doug?
No, FPS Doug.
Yeah, I'm still getting kills. I'm still getting headshots. It's like boom, headshot, boom, headshot,
I
boom,
don't remember that one.
headshot.
I don't
Yeah,
remember that one.
yeah.
No, I don't remember that one.
As for this game, this is super familiar. Kind of looks like
It could be
well,
Donkey Kong 64.
yeah, well, no, there's no anti-aliasing on this, so I suspect not. It kind of looks like a 3DS game or something.
Oh yeah, you could be right.
I would say Animal Crossing, but I don't think you ever see anything from that perspective in Animal
No.
Crossing.
Mm. Well, I'll do Donkey Kong 64 just so we can
Sure.
move forward and see if it. Nope. 88. Whoa, whoa, that's a weird image. Oh, it's a racing game.
Is it?
This looks like a track.
I mean,
Like the side of a
kind
racing
of.
track.
Maybe it's like Mario Kart 7.
Oh, I think Mario Kart 7 looks better than this. This looks pretty ugly. Like, look at
Well,
that repeating pattern down
it
there.
would tell us if it's a Mario Kart game.
That's true. Why don't we go DS?
Sure.
I feel like that would be like older. Nope.
Oh,
Oh, well,
it's Crash Team Racing.
the original, yeah.
Yeah, that suddenly became very easy.
Good job.
Good game.
I played the remake, and I don't know. I couldn't get into it for whatever reason. Not sure
Well,
why.
maybe it was better at the time it came out, but I remember playing this around the time it came out, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah. All right, play previous days. Let's see what we got. Ooh. Ooh.
There's a little bit of UI in there, but
The only thing that came to my mind immediately was like early Ace Combat games for some reason. Like
sure,
you're flying under the mountain.
sure.
But
It looks like a PS1 game.
yeah. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Why can't there just be Ace Combat? Oh my god.
Just try Ace Combat 2 or something.
Nope. Oh, it's an RPG.
Oh yeah. Oh, could that be Legend of Legaia or Legend of Dragoon? Let's try Legend of Legaia first, and if it's not, then
Nope.
try Legend of Dragoon.
Are they in the same series?
No.
Okay. Nice.
Hey, I remember that game.
I remember it. I never played it though.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's very new. Oh. Could it be? I think it might be Dishonored.
Okay, give it a shot.
Nope. 76. We got some like telekinesis warping going on here. What's that?
Yeah.
76. Hmm.
Yeah, I can't quite place that.
No, I don't have a guess on this one. Let's do a skip.
Sure. Oh, oh no! This is something I haven't played. Because if it was, I would 100% recognize that.
It might be Singularity.
Oh yeah, it might be Singularity. Yeah, that's the right era. Hey!
Oh. Yeah. A good game.
Yeah.
Very underrated. That was Raven's last game before they got
sent to the mines.
Sent to the Call of Duty mines, yeah. Very good game. Highly recommend that game to people if they haven't played it. Very good.
Oh, that's Stalker.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Let's say Shadow of Chernobyl? Okay, so then it's Clear Sky, because they don't have Shadow of Chernobyl in there. Yeah, Stalker Clear Sky.
It says prologue. Is that
yeah,
okay?
that's what the game is called.
Nailed it. Nice. Boom, 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 boom. We've talked about that game a lot on this show. Ooh. Is it a Yakuza game?
Yeah, I was going to say, could that be Yakuza? Because it's got Japanese
who knows which one, though? Could be literally any of them.
Just start with the first one and...
Ah!
Wild guess! And you picked the right one. Nicely done.
Out of the 80 Yakuza games, somehow you picked the right one. How's that?
Very well done. Awesome.
Ooh. It's very specific, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not getting anything, though.
It looks like the ashtray maze in Control, but like I literally just did that and I don't remember this exact like color scheme. But we could try Control.
Sure.
Why not? Nope.
80%.
Okay, well it's Could it be could that be Condemned?
I don't think so. It looks too crisp. Oh, we can try it though. I don't have a better guess.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Condemned was kind of
it was blurry. A little janky. Oh, PC
okay.
only. It is a first-person shooter though.
Yeah.
I can see UI right here.
Yeah. I don't recognize that interface.
This might be one of those games we've never heard of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip on this one because I don't know. Oh, could this be Redfall? That's a vampire.
I mean, but original platform PC?
Oh yeah, probably not. Is it a Vampire Masquerade game? Was there a first-person shooter in that?
Yeah,
series?
Vampire the Masquerade is a first. Maybe that's it. Try it.
Oh, which one?
Bloodlines. So I really need to play that sometime because I keep hearing that it's an amazing game, but I've never.
Is the sequel ever going to come out?
I have no fucking idea.
Oh, what the fuck is happening with that game? My God.
Built with the Half-Life 2 engine.
Crazy. Whoa. Oh, Automata? Near Automata? It's got the color palette, that's for sure.
Maybe. It's been a while since I played that. Go ahead and try.
Nope. Oh, wow.
Not rated. Interesting. That looks pretty recent.
I wonder if it's that game I'm playing. Or the Outpost game that I played. I didn't play enough of it to know like what kind of different environments you see. It could be. I'm not sure.
You could try it.
I don't have any other guess. Post Infinity. Nope, not in the list. Okay. I'm gonna skip then.
Yeah, I don't know what this is at all.
Oh
God.
This might be just something we have
this
no
is
clue
in
on.
This is in like Portuguese or Spanish or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a skip on this one. I don't recognize this at all.
Yeah, neither do I. Oh, now we have a screenshot in English. Fear 2, maybe?
No, this is something newer.
I
recognize
it not
this.
being rated is really strange.
You know why I think it is? I think it's because it's in early access.
Oh, yeah. And then oh God, I don't know.
Help, what does that say? Help civilians escape in elephant mausoleum hangar.
Well, if we'd played it, we'd recognize the name of that location.
This UI looks so familiar.
Yeah, but it's done with like the generic VHS, VCR font. So it looks like every other game that uses that font.
I'm gonna know this one.
I have no idea.
It looks very familiar. I'm gonna skip though.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're right. It is an early access.
Yeah, early access game. Yeah. Wow, that looks like Death Stranding.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, still no idea.
No, I don't know either.
Well,
maybe I don't know this one. It looks kind of cool though.
I've never even heard of the developer.
Well, it's an early access game. That's not surprising. All right, we'll give up on this one, I guess, because I genuinely don't know. Forever Winter.
Never heard of it.
Never would have got that. All right.
They shouldn't do games that are in early access.
Yeah, it should be in full release only. All right, we're going back to the top.
Oh, fuck. It's
This is Persona?
No, it's what's that fucking game with the samurai?
But the 80 games of samurais?
No, there's a really specific one. It's like a one-word name.
What console?
I think it's a PC game.
Oh, no idea.
Fuck. I hate this because I know the game, but I don't know the fucking
why
name of it.
why don't we skip and see if the screenshots jog your memory?
Sure. No.
Oh, it's on PS4 as well.
I can't remember the name of the fucking game. I hate this. Okay, here's put in the letter F. I feel like it starts with F. No, just trust me on this one.
It won't expand with one letter. You gotta have something
I know,
else.
but let's try I don't know, Flash? No. How about Fuse? Fuser, maybe? Try it. No. Oh, fuck. It's the long white hair. God damn it. What's the name of that fucking game?
I've never heard of this game before. I can't help you.
Fuck, it looks cool too. Fuck. I don't remember the name of the goddamn game.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who has this problem.
Yeah.
Because I remember I had it, like,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
last week I had one. Pretty sure.
Yeah, God, let me dig deep.
Why don't I skip to the video and see if the video will help you?
No, because I'm gonna need that guess.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. Let me go deep. Let me go deep.
That's what she said.
Why would she say that?
If she's on top.
No, but then you would be going. That's not how it works. Unless you're getting pegged. Now shut up and quit distracting me. Oh fuck.
User Frenchie fallopian tube.
Yeah. Keep spitting words at me.
Fuck. Are they all F? Are you sure it's an F?
No, I'm not.
Well. Is it a PH?
No.
Fun. Fucking spectacular. Frickadoo. Fellow.
The thing is, I think it's got like a
Newton.
weird spelling. It's like a word. It's like a normal word with a weird spelling. I think it's got like a Z in there instead of an S or some shit.
Pfizer. Fizzer. Fig Newton. Flippy Dippy. Flick. Frick. Fogel. Fack. Fing.
I
All right, I'm skipping. We got time frame.
I can't remember. I know this game and
The Game Bakers.
I can't remember what it's fucking called.
All right, are you ready to feel the pain?
I can't.
Here comes the pain. Fury.
Fury. God, see, I knew it was an F word that was spelled weird. Fuck.
That's also a 4-letter F word.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do vaguely remember that, but not enough to have remembered to get it. Yeah. Hey, Forrest, look at that.
Fuck, I don't know what this is.
Oh.
Maybe it's Deadly Premonition. It looks about as good as that.
This might be that. What was the Slender Man game?
Oh, the 8 pages. I don't think it was bright enough.
I think it's the newer one.
The Arrival, try it.
Nope. 85%. Whoa.
Yeah, okay, it's definitely not Deadly Premonition then.
I don't have anything from this particular picture.
Yeah, neither do I. Just try Deadly Premonition, just for shits and giggles. It's in there, so nope. Is that a lobster?
It looks like a fucking lobster. I have no idea.
What game has lobsters in it?
Another Crab's Treasure.
Fucking top 10 lobster games.
I have no idea. It has the color palette of Metal Gear Survive, but I don't know if you like lobsters in it though.
I mean, try it. Why not? Why the fuck not?
What the hell?
Oh, Jesus, that changed fast. What the hell is this?
I have no clue.
Could this be another Yakuza game? With lobster races? Try Yakuza 5.
It is a Yakuza game. Which one though?
Oh, fuck me, dude. 4?
No.
3?
I don't know. He looks pretty good.
Yeah, but it's 6 came out way more recently than that, so.
But yeah, but it could have been one. It could be one of the remakes.
Fuck.
Or 0. Or like a dragon.
I don't know. Do whatever you think. Follow your heart.
Maybe if I don't pick 3 and it's 3, then I'm gonna get fucking grieved. So I gotta go with 3.
Of them. There's so many of them.
0.
I didn't even know that Kiryu was in Yakuza 0. Maybe I should have played it.
There you go. All right, we'll play one more. Oh, I know this one. It's a Metroidvania.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Dead
I
Cells.
can just tell from the visual style.
I'm pretty sure it's Dead Cells.
Probably. There you go.
Redeemed myself. Redeemed myself. All right. My back needs a break. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 47 of Press Pause, a gaming podcast. If you want to find me on the socials, I am at TJ Dashley on BlueSky.
And I am at Ninjas on BlueSky.
And if you would like to email us, you can do so. I don't know why I'm singing at co.op.podcast@gmail.com, just like El Capito did. We love you, El Capito.
Thank you.
Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, ring the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Join the Co-op Club, Discord community server. Link is in the description. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so.
Good show.
Yep.
Now get back to gaming, everybody.
Bye.